thinking that I was just gonna sit back and take your crap one more time, man. What do you think you are? You ain't nothing special to me, man. You're a piece of flesh. When I step into the ring, I look at that man across the ring from me. I say, well, now, that's my dinner. That's my meal. That's my meal ticket, you see. But what I've been living on just don't fill me up, Hulk Hogan. So I gotta have a little bit more. I gotta...
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome, one and all, back to the Lazy Podcast. It's been 4 blessed months since we've done a podcast, and that time, a lot of stuff has changed within DCRP, which is going to be our main focus on today's podcast. DCRP V, technically 4, but we are going to be renaming it to just simply DCRP Reborn, as Hannah will be going over here in just a few minutes, as she's going to be taking over a lot of the talking as my mouth. For you guys that are on Discord, you guys know I've got a lot of shit going on with my bottom lip, bitten lip, canker sore. It's a mess over here, so I'll be talking as much as I physically can, but until then, of course, we have Hannah. As always, when it comes to DCRP related podcasts and all of that, we're going to get other people involved. But we did end up getting one certain individual that has been away from my content, my YouTube channel, and away from 5M just in general for a long time. But he is making his grand return to DCRP and taking over the sheriff's department from our last sheriff, who, in my opinion, didn't do very well with it. Had his people go on strike, but I'll let him reintroduce himself, as it's been a second. But Hannah, everyone want to say hello? Go ahead.
Hello, everyone.
Howdy, howdy. Been a fucking minute.
That's a familiar voice on you, son. Introduce yourself for everybody that's tuning in.
So, for those who are new, if you've watched Miss Fox's content for any amount of time, you'll probably remember my voice from FCF and Blizzard. I am Mr. Moss.
Mr. Moss. But, yeah, no, as he said right there, a lot of you guys will probably recognize that voice, as that man by himself got me out of my probationary stage within the fire department within Sandra's Finest, or SAF. So myself and him, we've had a lot of time in, well, a very beloved ambulance called Big Bess, where I almost lost the sucker. So good to see that he's back. And yeah, we'll turn it over to those two. We'll more or less turn it over to Moss, just simply as he's not got as much to inform you guys about as Hannah, as she's the lead dev here in DCRP, with myself sprinkling my idiocity in it as much as I possibly can without her yelling at me. But we'll turn the mic over to the new sheriff in town, because there can only be one. Mr. Moss, what are your plans with your department now?
So, plans with the Blaine County Sheriff's Office is going to be keeping it small, keeping it very family orientated, and reminding people that beneath your badge is a human heart. And at the end of the day, the people you come across, whether it be in or out of scenario, are also very much human and have things going on in their life, and sometimes a bit of kindness always does not hit or miss.
Wait, hold on. I thought I was a robot. What? Are you saying I'm a human too?
Yes.
Oh, well, shoot. I didn't think YouTubers could be human. Am I out of the loop on this, Hannah? Are we supposed to be human? I thought we were supposed to be robots as developers, owners, YouTubers. Like, what memo did you not send me? Like, I think you're behind on paperwork there, because I didn't get that email that I'm supposed to be this thing called a human. But all right. Um,
To bring it back to what you were saying earlier about the fact that I'd been completely away for a while, simply that was because my computer fried itself.
yeah, it it did, and it sounds like you are on a new rig.
Yep, I'm on a brand new top of the line rig, and my lord, is it very nice to be able to actually go into the city and not wonder how long before I fall through the floor.
Actually, yes. Talking about that, you were actually mentioning your frames while in server the other day. What are your frames looking like compared to how they used to be?
So this is where it gets a little embarrassing for myself. When I was actually in SAF with yourself, and even up to the final server which I was in, which was Fallen Misfits, my computer would struggle to get over 25 frames a second in the city.
Oh, wow.
And simply that was because I didn't have the money for a brand new motherboard and all that fun stuff. But now with this brand new computer, which was very nicely built, very locally to where I live, for a very good price as well, I am actually able to go through the city in a borrowed state patrol vehicle, absolutely flooring it at 150 frames a second.
Oh, very nice, very nice. And
So massive improvement.
right, so what about up your way in the county? What are we looking like up there?
I'm surprised if I go below 175.
And we can even turn it over to Hannah. That's quite impressive because what have we done within DCRP that is a little bit different than any other communities that you will be seeing around on 5M?
We have optimized the full server.
Right, which in the video, of course, that you guys are seeing in the background, just simply because that's just the new format here, is it's a little bit easier for me to record. You guys will more likely not recognize Sandy Shores at all because it is a brand new deal that we've got ourselves into with limited open interiors, but the map creator of the whole Sandy Shores is actually in works of more and more maps that he's actually putting polls out to see what his audience or you guys as customers or us wants to see next, which is super cool because not a lot of map makers will do that. They'll just do what's easier for them to do first and then do the harder stuff later.
Yep.
So, the leeway back into the sheriff's department, Mr. Moss, or should I say Sheriff Moss, what are we going to be seeing from you guys? Call signs, vehicles, what details are there public for the time being that you can say?
So call signs are going to be in the 1500s. I'm going to be allowing people to pick their last two digits, which for most counties I've been in is standard policy. That is, there is one that is not going to be permitted, but that's for closed nose. The vehicles we are going to be looking with when I can get them repainted to match. We will be having two parts to the fleet with part patterns from Monsieur Space 101 in the form of a Matrix pack, which looks absolutely amazing. The one that needs to get repainted is going to be Ripple's brand new, updated Liberty 2 light bar package.
Very nice. And I've heard rumors, of course, talks between myself and yours. There is going to be some shared assets between the two departments, of course, being state and the BCSO.
I can absolutely confirm that.
So,
So the
yeah.
way I'm going to let shared assets work is, for example, in the fleet that the State Department has, they do not have a brand new 2020 Ford Explorer, whereas the part of the fleet from the Sheriff's Department does. That is where that vehicle is going to be utilized still with red and blue lights by the state police. And I believe down the road we might even be sharing canine units.
Yeah, that's actually perfect because I was just gonna bring that up. This is not gonna be just a one-way street of the sheriff's department giving out assets to us. Something that they actually lack right now is canine. So the State Department here in the future are still figuring out the assets and the funding to be able to get those assets, but we have a canine pack through, of course, Ripple himself that is Valor's, which matches with our state fleet as of right now because I am all blue Valor's. So once we get those picked up, we are going to be just tossing those in as all blue Valor's. And then, of course, when the BCSO wants to run K9 for whatever day, or even if they just want to attach it to their fleet as something that they have keys from us, that's just going to be what it is. It's going to be shared between them, and then, of course, we're going to share our assets with them to pick up where they're lacking as they're helping us pick up where we're lacking.
And for those who have actually watched the previous stories with Mr. Moss, there's actually going to be one change that some people might be sad to see, and that is he is retiring his revolver.
And why is that? Because that's actually something I do not know.
He is retiring it for a couple of reasons. One, is he's struggling to get the ammunition. Two is he is starting to get on a little bit, and the harsh recoil is quite painful in his wrists. So he's going back to a 45 semi-auto.
So something along the line of like 1911 or even a 2011. Then I take it.
More like a USP 45.
Okay. Very stout gun, that is. So, on the topic of new fleets, I know the fire department is also looking into retiring one of your fleets and kind of reorientating where your assets are going to be. So, I'll turn this over to Hannah as the head of the fire department. What is going on with your fleet as we're on the topic of the fleets?
My fleet is some of them is getting retired because we are updating them. The new ones.
And if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be the beloved BCSO fleet.
Yep.
Which, for you guys that have been around on the YouTube channel, you guys will actually know this fleet, and more than likely it's going to be shown in the video in the background as well. But the more of a cab over fleet is what we're going to be looking for instead of the more truck style. I can't recall the classifications that it is actually called, but yeah, we are just going away from that. Personally, it's kind of an insider look on my behalf. I don't necessarily like the look of those trucks. compared to what we have done in the city right now, which is still being teased around for you guys. We were actually trying to do some pictures with it, but we ended up figuring out some scripts that were broken, so we were unable to do the teaser for those trucks. But again, we might do a little tease here and there within this video, so do keep an eye on the video. Don't just, click in and take a listen, because a lot of the background for this podcast, for you guys that actually do tune in, listen to these when they do pop up, just very sparsely as of right now. But I am going to drop little teasers here and there of what you guys are going to be seeing. More than likely, one of those vehicles is actually going to be one that we just talked about, the 2020 Explorer, that you guys will be seeing state utilize very, very heavily. So, again, just kind of keep your eye out. If something looks a little bit off and something that you guys have not seen within the videos here on YouTube when I do a little bit of stuff here, or for those that watch Twitch, those are going to be our new assets. Of course, not all of them, but you'll get a kind of a general idea of what they're going to be looking like. So, on the topic of, again, going back to the BCSO, your department, Moss, is just going to be you as of right now. Until
That is correct.
you, of course, have your applications open, I take it.
Yes, but we are doing it slightly different than previous instance. Ugh, I'll get my words right in a minute. Compared to how a lot of other counties do it, where you can apply from without being a member, the way I'm actually doing it is you need to be a civilian first, and then come and apply inside the actual station.
Right, which, for all of you guys that do not know, everybody that jumps into DCRP will be given a civilian tag regardless. That is not necessarily a quote-unquote job, kind of how like SAF or PGN states like that I've been in, where you can choose to be a civilian or a cop. And then if you wanted to pick up, firefighting, you could either be a civilian and a cop or firefighter and a cop. We're not doing that. If you guys want to rock all three departments, civilian, fire, police, you can do that. Also, communications for like dispatching and all that will be attached to your civilian job or your civilian side. So if you still want to be a cop, firefighter, whatever, and then just help out with the dispatching on one side, that is totally up to you guys as well, which is going to be super unique as well. So we will have our dedicated like heads for dispatching once we figured that out. But as of right now, that department is sadly closed because we do not have a head. So for all of you guys that do have a little bit of dispatching experience, the link to DCRP is down in the description. If you guys want to come shoot your shot and come hang out with us, kind of fill it out within DCRP for a few weeks or even a few months, and want to take that challenge on between dispatching, the fire department and all that, then please come on, hang out. As, of course, everyone is open as of right now. Fire, the State Department, which is going to be done a little bit different, which I'll explain here later on. And, of course, the Sheriff's Department as walk-ins only. So, yeah, going to be really cool. So,
And actually, speaking of the Sheriff's Department, for those who remember previously, if you remember the little sneaky teasers from the last time I was with DC, before my computer decided it wanted to take a nap, shall we say?
permanent.
Yes, a permanent nap, but a nap nonetheless. Let's just say they might actually recognize some of the paint jobs. That's all I'm prepared to say about that for right now.
Ooh, okay. Very cool. But yeah, before I turn it over to the fire department, see what's going on over there, I will touch on what I was going on about. So, the state, and I know this is going to rub some heads the wrong way until I can actually get and sit down with them. The State Department is not going to be something you can just apply for. Even though we are technically an open community or an open department, if you put in an application and, like, let's say Moss looks at your application, he goes, holy shit, that's a really fucking good application. Like, he might be something or someone that would do better probably in the state. He will then pass your application over to me, and then I'll go from there. If it's something where, you go into the BCSO and you want to climb through his ranks and so forth and so on, state is going to look into other departments, so BCSO and PD, and if we see someone doing extremely well, but they want to be able to progress a little bit more into other sub departments and all that the BCSO do not utilize, but the State Department does, like commercial vehicle enforcement for one. If you request, at that point, you go talk to Moss in character, of course, and say, hey, I like where I'm at within the BCSO, but I want to do more. Then he'll put in a word for you to come over to state. So it's all going to be in character when it comes to the hiring process of state, which is going to be something that not a lot of communities do, where state is just open for anybody and everyone to join. Where the state is going to be, as layman's term, the cream of the crop of the police force within DCRP. Hannah's dying. Please hold.
Yeah, I'm trying to do stuff.
But yeah, that's basically what's going on with the State Department. I'm going to be cross-training a lot with the Blaine County Sheriff's Office and vice versa. He's going to be cross-training a lot with us, just simply because we do not want our two families clashing when it comes to training. And that just makes it easier for everybody to be able to work alongside each other and not have it being a great big rivalry saying, oh, this department's better than the other, because you're trained the exact same way. When it comes to some sub-departments, of course, our just standardized trainings are going to be a little bit different, just as state is going to go a little bit heavier into it because of my SOP is 70 pages long, which I know is going to scare a lot of people away, but that's why I want it to just be the cream of the crop, people that actually want to do something at a higher level is what it's going to end up being. And then if you don't want to go really heavy into policing and you're just, wanting to jump on and have some fun as LEO, then the police department, when they're open, will be your go-to, or even the Blaine County Sheriff's Office. But if you really want to get super heavy into role play, all of your documentation and all that, state's going to be just kind of where that is. So, backtracking just a little bit, the sheriff's department, your guys' uniforms are completely different than we've ever had before.
That is very much correct as well. Not prepared to reveal too much about the sheriff's department right now. The only thing I am willing to make mention of about the uniforms is, and for those who know the term county mannies, they're going to be liking this. Cowboy hats for all.
And damn, does it look sexy.
but there is one thing I am actually prepared to mention.
Okay.
Those who like to do irregular duties as a conservation/wildlife officer, you've got some fun things as well.
Well, there's little birds on the power line saying that there's going to be another sub-department that's going to be opening as well that also has a great big open interior for them. Are we wanting to go into a little bit of detail of that one?
I'll let you take it away.
So, something really cool that is going to be, of course, through the Blaine County Sheriff's Office is something my dad did for 10 years, or even 10 plus years. That is corrections. So if you guys want to be kind of a cop wannabe, my dad hates me for saying it, but it is. But if you want to work in the prison, like my dad did, you can do that. It is going to be a subdivision within the sheriff's department only. State's not going to have it. PD's not going to have it. It's going to be your one-way ticket is through the BCSO. So if you want to go deal with the people that drop their soap every 2 seconds because they're always screaming it over the loudspeaker, that's going to be where you guys want to go if you want to go put on some cheeks. I don't know how. Yeah, we're half an hour into this recording, so YouTube, sorry, but language is going to get a little bit spicier. But yeah, that's going to be super cool. Like I said, there's a great big open interior for that opens up the whole prison, or a good portion of the prison, not the whole thing, but it's super cool. I've gone through it a few times. Absolutely love it. It's going to be really cool, and it's going to bring a really cool opportunity for one of you guys that are watching this right now to be able to take on something completely different than we've ever had actually operating within DCRP.
And actually, if I can get it working, there's something that those who enjoy the throwback are going to very much remember. And that is actually, we are going to be having one classic vehicle within the Blaine County Sheriff's Office.
Very nice. So, kind of like the State Department with their dinosaur being Rotator.
That would be exactly correct. We are also going to be having a rotator unit within Blaine County Sheriff's Office.
Very, very cool.
And I'm proud to mention about this. It is going to not be sporting for brand new paint jobs, so because, well, funding.
Yeah. Funding
And
is
plus it is our retro unit. But is a 2001 MX 7000 light bar.
Ooh, very sexy. See, it's something I don't know if you've noticed, Moss, while dinking around in the server the last few days, but I've also got my livery okayed by Minty, who we rock their state troopers. If you guys are wondering who we go through, it's Minty Designs. I reached out to Minty and their team the other week saying, hey, I like your livery. I need to be able to edit something really small on your liveries, and that is the badging, because it didn't match with our new uniforms that we are going with in DCRP Reborn. We'll go over the new name here in just a second, but they gave me the green light to edit their liveries just that little bit. So the one vehicle that actually did not get updated, and I kept the badge on to be kind of your quote-unquote retro fleet, is the Ford Crown Vic, as it's of course rotators, and it's got another fleet or another livery on it that looks a little bit rusted out. So really cool. I didn't want to ruin the look of the Ford Crown Vic, as I just like that skin on it a ton, so I just left it alone. So Basically, it's our new liveries, just the same livery, but without badging on it at all. So it's more universal to be used with other EPs, which, again, big special thanks to Minty's Design. Their link, this is not paid promotion or anything. I just really like that they gave me the opportunity to do this because not a lot of people will. But again, their link to Minty Designs will be down in the description. If you guys are 5M owners or if you're developers or whatever and you're looking for new stuff by way of EP liveries or just whatever they offer, I highly suggest go to Minty's and just check them out. So, with all of the law enforcement stuff out of the way, I will open it up to Hannah and go over the little bits of fire that has been retweeted, if they're not busy. I'm going to say that they are busy right now working on the community. So, we'll touch back to Hannah here in just a second. Hopefully they won't be as busy and actually can take a second away from doing their stuff. They are doing a lot of coding, trying to fix some stuff that was broken, but it's just going to be what it is for right now. We'll get back to her. But one thing I will actually take note that is really cool is for all of you guys that watched the last live, or not the last live stream, but the last podcast, the Lazy Podcast, Pixel Pride Radio. What's really cool is a lot of you guys have been around for DC. You guys would know that we had a TV script. What's really cool is Hannah has got it formatted that if you go onto the actual TV in game, you guys can listen in to the Pixel Pride Radio in game on the TVs, which is super cool. We were just in server dancing along to the music, which it's been freaking awesome to be able to do it because we've been trying to attach it to the car radio, which you guys will know if you guys watched. We've had that in. We couldn't ever get it to sync up, but we did get it to finally sync with the TVs. So again, big thank you to Hannah for being able to get that, because that's super cool to be able to have in server.
Yeah, I kind of went through the coding on it.
So, Hannah, you want to take a break from what you're doing and go over what's going on with the fire department and where us two especially are going to be landing within role-wise?
I haven't even decided where to put yous yet. I know Moss wants to be a senior firefighter because he doesn't want to do any paperwork.
Well, I was more or less talking about me and you, as that's been a huge change within DCRP.
Yeah.
Since the last time we've really spoke about it on podcast.
Yeah, I decided to move down to Car 2 and move Rugby Benson up to Car 1.
And as my time in the Car 1 spot, I figured out a better position for Miss Hannah, as she's more of the EMS type. So we do actually have two paths you can go within the fire department or EMS. And then if you want to do kind of a hybrid, you can do a hybrid. But Hannah takes a little bit more of a liking to the EMS, so she is going to be your EMS 1. And then I will be taking the fire department as basically my baby until further notice. Because I don't plan on taking it for forever, but we'll just kind of see how the roleplay lines out. As I do have some storylines written up for the fire department already, which hopefully you guys will enjoy. So,
Mm.
on the offhand of ranking and all that, uh, fire scripts and your department, I know we talked a little bit about your new fleet already, but what's new within the fire department?
Um, we got a new station in the city.
Station 7? If I'm not
Yep,
mistaken.
Station 7.
Right down there by the
The beach.
pier. Yep, the beach area. It's actually right there by the helipads down in the city, which is really unique. So, yeah, I mean, besides the fleet being kind of redone, the two rankings, and of course, Mr. Moss now being back in the server will tidy him up. But the BCA, or not the BCSO, the Glen County Fire Department is probably one of the more just relaxed departments. There's not really been too much change. Um, Scripts, of course, have been going in and out, being updated, but that's just more of the story of being a developer. You got to be on top of that. But
Yeah.
other than that, the fire department, EMS, it's been the same. You guys will see a new fleet come into the server. We actually do not own it yet, but we are again working on funding for that. Of course, if you guys want to hit up and help us out with funding, join the Discord for DCRP, and you can find the Patreon to the server as well if you guys want to help us out with funding new and exciting apparatus and or coding and all that. But yeah, really, that's about it for the fire department. Like I said, not much has changed besides the ranking and Hannah taking over the EMS. So, we'll take it back for just a second. We will kind of give you guys a little bit of an overview of DCRP Reborn. As, of course, you guys will know that whenever we do a big name change, it means that there's been a huge change within the server itself. And I'm going to actually turn this back over to Hannah and tell you guys why we are going under DCRP and why we stepped away from a certain aspect and went back old school. So, Hannah, please take it away.
Yeah, that big name change is because of a lot of stuff happen.
Mainly our
And,
servers being fucked.
Yeah. So we have went right back to the basic standalone.
Which, for all of you guys that have been kicking around since the original DCRP, when of course Moss and all those guys were around, you guys will recognize this being a weapon wheel V menu based server, unlike what version 2 and version 3 were as QB Core. So, what pushed us to swapping over, Hannah?
Pushed us over the edge was scripts wasn't starting, vehicles wasn't starting, servers breaking,
Inventories
name it.
breaking.
Everything broke on us.
Yeah, basically anything that could broke, it broke on us. Which is really shitty because we put a ton of time trying to get the QB core working, and every time we would take even just 3, 4, 5 days away trying to get us back into a mental state that we wanted to be on the server to roleplay, we would get back in and it'd be completely just fucked, to put it simple.
Yeah.
We were having issues with the inventory not wanting us to reload. You couldn't drop stuff. It was just a clusterfuck. So we decided that the only thing we were really using the QB core or ESX was for the inventory, which at the end of the day, with all of our menus and our scripts, we didn't necessarily need that because we have menus that you can handcuff people, so you didn't need to handcuff through the inventory through QB. And then I and Hannah fucked with the holster script so it would look better and you're not pulling it out of your ass. It became an issue. So we decided that if we're going to go under the DCRP Reborn, we are going to basically go full tilt and rebirth DCRP and just go back to the fundamentals of storytelling, no fancy scripts. Because if you think about even Torp or any of those, which were super heavy into storytelling, those were just standalone servers. They didn't have anything fancy or anything like that. You worked with what you had within the server and you made those storylines a little bit more special because they took that extra second to set up. So at the end of the day, it's not something I wanted to do, but for the health of the server and allowing people like Moss coming back into roleplay, not having to learn 80,000 things on top of roleplay, which already can be super tiring, especially for law enforcement. It just made more sense for us to revert back to what we had and what was working within content and all that. So we're going Reborn.
And I just want to make a quick point. Those who remember I used to stream, unfortunately, those days are well and truly done with. So, just a heads up, if you want DCRP content, either go over to Miss Fox's Twitch or the YouTube channel.
Or even Hannah's, as they do a lot of streaming themselves over on, of course, Twitch. I do want to point this out as well. With the mention of content, you guys will be seeing a lot of differences between what I'm going to be uploading. Just simply because there are days where we get a spur of the moment type of idea that will help out some of the storyline, but we can't necessarily, how do I want to say this? We don't want to get a full stream going. We don't want to have to do the time to set everything up just for the stream to be 10-15 minutes, then shutting it down because that server or that scene is done. So a lot of my content will be, of course, over on Twitch, which I will then continue to download it from Twitch, edit it up, and all of that. But you guys will also be seeing some more exclusive YouTube content, which are those just one-off scenes that we are wanting to do for the enrichment of stories. As you guys saw 3 weeks ago with the Sandy Mare getting arrested. Which again was just one of those very spur of the moment videos that we had an idea to do, and so we did it. So it'll be a little bit different for you guys, but hopefully those that are here on YouTube will enjoy that a little bit more. Because you guys are going to get exclusive content from DCRP that will not be seen over on Twitch, which is going to be kind of nice for you guys that don't necessarily get to see Twitch, but you also want that enrichment from a little bit of a insider look of what's going on between the outtakes per se, you guys will be starting to see that. Also on top of that, War Thunder is going to be coming to the channel. I just got the Division 2 from Moss, as well as the Crew 2. So, we are going to be doing a lot of content here on YouTube, especially because I'm going to just use those games as YouTube material. So I'll be recording.
Don't forget.
What we're
Actually,
doing.
just wanted to tack on real quick. There's 2 games you've forgotten about. Ghost Recon Breakpoint, and one that hasn't made an appearance on your channel in a very, very long time.
Oh,
But
well.
we didn't actually ever finish them. Exactly.
Yeah. So, you guys will be starting to see a lot of content here on YouTube just simply because, and I hate to be the burden of the podcast, but I gotta fucking say it. YouTube is my career at this point. My job in the dog shelter is, paying bills, but if I want to make some money, I gotta be doing stuff for YouTube or even Twitch. So you guys are gonna see, especially at the beginning of October, I'm going to start posting on YouTube a ton more than I have been, which I do apologize for those that are here on YouTube and that do not go over to Twitch. You guys are lacking on content a lot. So we are going to, or at least I am going to fix that. You guys are going to start seeing a lot of content coming here soon. Either it be War Thunder with Hannah, or if Moss wants to jump in and fuck around with us, then we'll start uploading that. Once I can get more space on my computer, games like Operator, or even Arma.
A lot of games.
Yeah, there's just a ton of games that I would like to be able to do. Ground Branch, Operator, all of those games will be coming back in due time once I can afford parts for the PC, like new RAM, new storage, graphics card. There's just a lot of stuff, so we'll upload what I can. Of course, War Thunder, GTA, and some few games here and there that are a little bit different. So just expect a lot of content, and then hopefully, knock on wood, if we can keep the server up and running without wanting to catch fire, 5M Roleplay back on Twitch and here, of course, on YouTube.
Yeah, I got some hints to show off before you jump out of chat.
Okay. But anyway, with that being said, anybody have any closing stuff that you need to say, want to get off your chest, anything?
Nope.
Actually, there is one other thing that you are going to potentially be able to do for content, but it's going to be more on the heavy, mature side of content, and that is going to be when it gets picked up for you, payday 3.
That is very true.
So it'll be time to get paid again.
You'll be getting paid. Oh yeah. So yeah, be really cool. Like I said, just keep your eyes out on the channel, guys, because again, you guys are going to see a lot of content coming here very soon. Also, one last thing before we do wrap this up. For you guys that do not know, my birthday stream over on Twitch is coming up here within this next month, October 21st. So, I am planning on either live streaming the 19th or the 20th, depending on just kind of how busy I am. I would, of course, upload and go live on my birthday, but knowing my family, they're going to be wanting to go out for dinner and that kind of stuff, and I don't want to have to interrupt it. So, Just kind of keep your eyes on the Discord, my actual Discord, the main one. Again, link is in the description. I will finalize the schedule of when I'm wanting to do that. So keep your eyes there. But I just wanted to give you guys a heads up that October, I am going to be doing a birthday stream. So I believe I'm going to have some Pokemon card openings. I might get a little tipsy. And yeah, it's just going to be a fun night. I'm going to jump around from games to games, from the crew to War Thunder. Might even peek my head into the server for a bit. It just kind of depends on how long we are going to go. So it will be what it is. So anyway, that's my last spiel out of the way. So again, if anyone has anything, close it out. Go ahead and speak on up.
I don't have anything.
Actually, just one last thing about Sheriff's Office. With corrections and what it will be called pensions, but corrections near enough the same thing. And wildlife, there is going to be one thing that I am going to be having joint operations on, and that is traffic/speed enforcement with the state police.
So, and at that point, you're going to be trained under the State Department for that, with of course help from the sheriff himself. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this has actually been a lot longer of a podcast than I was actually expecting, as we're pushing up on an hour, and with the intro and outro, we might just be there. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for tuning in, and I know it's been a while since we've done one of these. We'll try to get back on the ball of doing the podcast, because I do quite enjoy doing this kind of content, giving you guys insider updates and all that, and just kind of insider updates of our lives. So keep your eyes out for those as well coming back. But yeah, just on behalf of myself, Hannah, and the new sheriff in town, Mr. Moss, thank you guys all for watching this episode of the Lazy Podcast. You guys, we will see you guys either on the streets or right back here on another podcast here on the Lazy Podcast. See you guys later.